Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This opening negotiation session between the Cedar Rapids Education Association and the Cedar Rapids Community School District. And today is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. The time is 4:32, and we'll call our first meeting to order. This meeting is called for the purpose of negotiation sessions pursuant to Iowa Code. At this time, the employee organization will present its initial bargaining position to the public employer. And who would that be? Would that be Reese?
That will be me.
All right, go ahead then.
Okay, thanks, Laurel. All right, so good evening, everyone. And tonight we have the first time we're actually just talking wages. So we were kind of taken aback by that. We're like, hey, we're not talking about anything else for a change. And so that gave us the time to really kind of dig in and think about what are the needs for this employee group. So we have a three-pronged approach. And so kind of bear with me here as we talk it through. So first of all, the basics here. We're proposing a wage increase for all members of the bargaining unit at 2%. We know that our legislative group isn't very generous in this department. And we know we've had a lot of things going on, but we also know that we have to be competitive and we have to offer wages that are worth people coming to being part of our district. So in addition, we also are proposing a lump sum stipend of $3,000 per FTE for COVID-incurred, unreimbursed expenses, hardships, and disruption. We all know that when we switched over, all of a sudden, unexpected, there were costs involved that no one was prepared for. I myself, every month, went over my data allotment for internet. I know that people bought other materials, and especially as we got ready for the beginning of the new year, still sitting at home and in remote environments, we had to figure out ways that came out of our own pockets to help make things go smoothly. And we just feel like, again, that's not of any fault of anyone, but we really want to consider that as a way to help people incur that cost that they do each and every day to make a school day better for our students. And then finally, we'd be remiss to talk about the fact that whether it was COVID or not, we know we live in a time where sub shortages are an issue. And in our contract, we have our personal days, and because of these last 2 years, we've not been able to take advantage of those pieces to use our personal leave. And we are working through this build-up of personal leave that is often impossible to use simply based on some shortages. So our last point we want to point out is having you to consider paying out employee daily per diem rate for up to 6 of our personal leaves for those whose banks are at this point overflowing. So those are our 3 points. Thank you.
Thank you, Reese. Can you remind me again? You said the lump sum stipend of what was the dollar amount?
$3,000.
Okay. And then could someone please send me a copy of your proposal at the end of the meeting? That'd be awesome. All right. Are there any questions from anyone on the district team?
I just wanted to say that right before the start of the meeting, I emailed to everyone and copied you this time, Laurel. So you should have the opening proposal.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kim. All right. Any questions then? All right. Okay. If there's no questions, then we're going to adjourn this meeting, and the time is 4:36. We're going to go on. And this meeting is called pursuant to Iowa Code as well for negotiation session between the Cedar Rapids Education Association and the Cedar Rapids Community School District. And at this time, the public employer will present its initial bargaining proposal to the employee organization. Linda, I assume that would be you.
Yes, very good. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here and taking some time this evening for us to get together and have this very important conversation. I am going to let Superintendent Bush kick us off this evening. I think she has some words that she'd like to share with all of you, and then we'll move on with our proposal.
Thank you, Linda. And first and foremost, I just want to thank this team for your commitment to this process and saying yes to being on the negotiations team and advocating for your work group, but also really it ends up advocating for all of our employees. So thank you for saying yes to this process. It's hard to believe that in a couple of days we're going to be at the year point of when our governor pronounced the shutdown of our schools because of the pandemic. And of course, we had no idea what was in store for us, but yet here we are still figuring it out together. And so to Euresa's point and what our employees have incurred over the past year, just on behalf of the board and all administration, I just want to express deep gratitude sincerely for your commitment as employees and how every day you bring service to children to the forefront of your mind. It has been stressful, it has been frustrating, and I think we're all sick of the word pivot, right? We are ready to move forward and support our work teams together. So thank you for remaining flexible and creative and finding new pathways to serve our kids in multiple platforms, not just one. And we remain committed to you and to our employees through, of course, we've even compensated through these hard times of uncertainty when we were shut down in the spring. And then, of course, on top of that, the derecho. So I also just want to give a shout out to our board for supporting compensation for employees during times when we didn't require them to come to work because it's the right thing to do. And you all have supported that advocacy as well. So thank you for that constant collaboration and support of our students together. We all know that we're facing loss of enrollment and SSA that does not meet our kids' needs and or our employees. However, negotiations is always that time where we can continue to work together to best serve our employees while remaining committed to, of course, to balancing the financial health of the district, but also thinking of creative ways to support our employees. And so thank you for that. And I really appreciate your opening remarks. And we just look forward to the work together. So just thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Superintendent Bush. I will now proceed with sharing my screen and going through the proposal for the district. And I will just go ahead and read this. So the Cedar Rapids Community School District's initial opening proposal is for the 2021-22 contract. The district proposes that the current contract proposes a current contract except for the following, which is under wages. The district proposes a 0.84% increase to base wage for 2021-22, and then we would update all necessary dates in the contract. Okay, so with that, Laurel, that would end our piece of it.
All right, are there any questions then from the Cedar Rapids Education Association's team? All right then, hearing none, we're going to adjourn this meeting. It is 4:41, and if you will give us all just a minute, Justin is going to take us off.